Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Friday webinar. We're going to get started in a few minutes. I wanted to wait a couple minutes just for those who may be running a little bit late to arrive. So please sit tight for a couple more minutes and we will begin. Thanks. And I will be presenting today. The topic of the webinar today is auto processing to workflow with Dokmee. And I'd like to start off by just going over the agenda. Everyone is going to be on mute, and at the end of the presentation, we will take questions. Now, during the presentation, you can use the chat feature. Scott Zaskowski is on the line, and he'll be answering questions via chat. So, quickly, the agenda. Today, we're going to talk about the problem, and then we're going to talk about the solution. And that involves talking to you about Dokmee Capture and Dokmee DMS and how we now have true auto processing. And we're going to show you how that works. We'll do a demo of Dokmee and show you exactly how it works, and then we'll be taking questions. This webinar should go for around 30 minutes, and then we'll take questions after that. So let's get started. The problem. So let's talk about the environment today. And the problem is we're seeing inefficient paper-based processes. With that comes high costs. Companies are processing a large volume of different types of documents, and they're doing it manually. And with these manual processes, it takes longer. There's human errors. Maybe documents get lost. And the end result is the transaction costs are very, very high. Additionally, when we're talking about paper, we're faced with other challenges as well. One that we see out there is, we call it the audit nightmare, where someone comes in and they're asked to produce a specific document or a specific set of documents, and the process of finding them can take a long time, and sometimes they're not able to produce the exact documents, and or maybe the audit trail around a specific document, and they're being fined for that. There's also, we're talking about security when we're talking about paper. When we have our business critical documents around the office with no controls on them, we open ourselves up to other people seeing things they should not see. And there are some solutions out there that address this. A lot of this software that's out there, the issue is that it's just very complex, and there's a very high cost involved with implementing any type of automation. We're having to train our employees on these applications, and it's taking a long time. Also, if the employee that we've trained leaves the company, we're back to square one and we have to start all over again. And so we have a solution to that. With Dokmee Capture and Dokmee DMS, we can actually automate a lot of this now and reduce those transaction costs by implementing some very fast automated processes. And when we're talking about automated processes, we're reducing human errors. We're going to have controls and audit trails around everything. We're going to have visibility into where everything is at any given time. And we're talking about true automatic processing. What I'm going to show to you, the end user a lot of times needs no training because we set this system up and it runs automatically. the end user would need to learn how to or know how to use things that they already know how to use, like their hardware, how to scan a document in, or how to move a digital file over to a folder. And we do that with Dokmee. I'm going to show you Dokmee Capture paired with Dokmee DMS. We're going to take a document. We're going to pull relevant data off of the document. We're going to export the document into Dokmee DMS, where it's going to start or kick off a workflow. And we're going to do this automatically. So how are we going to get the data off of the document? We can do that a few different ways. With Dokmee Capture, we can do different types of recognition, like a zone recognition, text OCR, OMR. We can read barcodes. We can read QR codes. We can do a lot of this. And so the document that I'm going to show you today, we're going to use auto recognition for. And this is for a document or a form that's structured. So it looks the same. It's very easy to go in and build zones to automatically pull that data back. Now, we run into a problem when we're talking about unstructured data. What you're looking up here, this is an invoice. And if I take a stack of invoices from 50 different vendors, let's just take something as simple as the vendor name. I know the vendor name is going to be on that invoice somewhere, maybe at the top left or the right or in the middle. It could even be a logo. I'm not sure where it's going to be or what format it's going to be in, but I do know that it's going to be there. And we have a way to capture that unstructured data using what we call magic indexing. It's a way to imagine putting 50 invoices on your scanner, pushing scan, and walking away. The next time you see them, they're in the inbox of the person who needs to approve them. So how are we going to do the workflow? Well, the workflow, we're going to do that in Dokmee DMS. So once the image is captured, the data is extracted, it is moved over to Dokmee DMS, and this is where we kick off a workflow. And we can just take your business process or take a customer's business process and we model it to get away from the paper moving around an office. Let's go ahead. I want to get into the demo. I really want to show you guys the software. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share out my VM so that all right, let's see. So we can all see. Okay, so let's go look at Dokmee Capture. And this is Dokmee Capture here. I've logged in as the administrator, and you see just a lot of different tiles. So each tile is something I can do inside of the application. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the batch profile, about the batch directory, about magic indexing, but really today what we're talking about is we're talking about auto processing. You can see down here that I have auto processing set. So what that means is I can set up the rules that I'm going to use to process an invoice, for instance. That's what we're going to look at. And now we can do it automatically. And I was talking about an end user not really needing to learn the software. Once this is set up, and let's go take a look. I have a folder here. It's called Import Invoices. So this folder is being watched. Let's go grab a couple of invoices. Here's 4 of them. Boom, boom. Take them. We're going to drop them in the folder. So now if we look, 4 invoices are here in the folder, but what I have is I have Dokmee Capture set up to watch this folder. So imagine taking, and I can use this for any different document types as well. If you look here, I have a folder to import packing documents. I have another one to import W-9s. Any document that we would want to put into Dokmee DMS, we can really, a lot of times, set it up to work automatically. So these documents, these invoices are going to be pulled out by Dokmee Capture. They're going to be automatically processed. The metadata is going to be extracted, and we're talking about the vendor name, the amount. the date, the invoice number, things like that. And they're automatically going to be moved over to Dokmee DMS. And then from there, they're going to kick off a workflow. And let's look at the workflow that we're going to be seeing in Dokmee DMS. So once those documents are inside of Dokmee DMS, they are going to kick off a workflow. They're going to be imported automatically into a folder that is called New Invoices for Approval. And inside of, and what I've done, each one of these blue boxes is actually a separate workflow inside of Dokmee DMS. I blew the top one up so we could kind of talk about it. But the workflow, the way it works is someone will be assigned to it. It could be one person, it could be 5 people. New invoices that come in, whoever is assigned to that workflow is going to get an email saying, hey, there's something that needs your attention. They're going to log into Dokmee, and they will see, anything that is in their workflow that they need to address. And in this case, what they're going to do is they're going to just verify the invoice. We're going to have them assign a cost center to it. And based on that cost center, the invoice is going to be automatically routed to the correct department for approval. So if we assign it a sales cost center, it's going to go to the sales manager, manufacturing, HR. And it's going to move into that corresponding workflow. And so in each of those blue boxes, what we've done is we built an approval matrix, really, so we can have it set up where it goes to the sales manager, for instance, and he approves it. And maybe if it's over $10,000, we have to also get the vice president of sales to approve it as well. So after he approves it, it would move on to the VP if it was a very, very large invoice. If it was something smaller, after he approves it, it goes to the invoices approved for payment workflow. And that's where the person who is tasked with taking an invoice and paying it is going to be prompted. They're going to pay the invoice. They're going to log, maybe how they paid it, when they paid it, and then verify that it's been done. And once that's done, then the invoice is going to go to its final stopping point where it will be stored. Now, at any time, someone can also reject the invoice, and at that point, that invoice will be taken and sent to a workflow for rejected invoices or a workflow for exceptions. We can really customize this any way that the customer wants. This is just a very simple workflow based around invoice approval. Let's go back and let's go here. Okay, now let's open this up. So if we look here, this is where we put those invoices, and they're no longer in the folder. I had it set up so that Dokmee Capture is actually pinging this folder every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes it's looking in, and any new invoice, it's going to take it and it's going to run it, extract the metadata, import it to Dokmee DMS. It's completely customizable. We could have it where maybe we do it at night and do it as a batch. It really depends on the company or the organization and how they want to handle their documents. So Dokmee Capture has taken the invoice, it's processed the invoice, and it's moved to Dokmee DMS, and that's where we're going to go now because it's all started. It's got into the workflow. Let's go ahead and I'm going to log out here and log back in. So this is Dokmee DMS, and quickly, it's written in HTML5, which means that it's accessed via a web browser. I'm using Internet Explorer, but it will work on any web browser. It can work on Chrome, Firefox, Apple Safari. Additionally, we have a phone application. So if you go to the Android store, you go to the Apple store, you can download our application and actually view your documents via your mobile device. Now, I'm going to start and log in as the admin. And as the admin, I'm going to be able to see all of the cabinets when I log in. Now, we would be able to restrict who sees what. Maybe sales sees the sales-related cabinets, HR sees the HR-related cabinets. As the admin, I can see them all. And those invoices, they actually went here to the AP Invoices cabinet. So let's go ahead and click in there. Now, we modeled this application after Windows, and we did that for usability. So anyone who is familiar with Windows can really pick up Dokmee very, very easily. It's just very familiar when you look at it, and it's very intuitive in the way that the application works. So imagine an end user who does not need to do, all they have to do is they take their invoices and they scan them, or they move them over to a folder that says invoices. And then the next time they see them, they're already inside of Dokmee DMS. So we put those here in the invoices for approval, and here they are. If we look, and there's a timestamp on them, 5/18/147. So these are the actual invoices that we just had. Now, we did not have to do anything. Once Dokmee Capture is set up, all we needed to do was move the invoices to that watched folder, and they were automatically processed. And if you look here to the right, all of the data that we need for this specific invoice has been extracted. We have the invoice number, we have the date of the invoice, we have the vendor, and the status. This is a new invoice, and this invoice, what we're doing is we're kicking off a workflow. Let's close it out, and I'll show you what I mean about that. So I logged in as the admin, and I actually made the admin the person who is notified when a new invoice hits the system. And you can see down here the workflow inbox. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and these are all of the items that I need to take action on. And what do I need to do? I need to verify them. I need to assign a cost center. So as the admin, I could quickly come in and just to verify the invoice that it's good, and we're going to go ahead and approve it. So let's approve the invoice. Oh, but we didn't assign a cost center. So it's going to ask me, okay, look, we need you to assign a cost center so we know where to send it. So let's assign it 100, send it to the sales manager. And you're going to see it pop out here. Okay, it's gone. So where there were 6, now there's 5. Let's go ahead and log out here. So David Malone is the sales manager. Imagine maybe he's sitting in an airport somewhere. He gets an email on his phone, mobile device, says, hey, look, there's something that needs your approval. Logs into via our phone app, and he approves it right from the airport. And so what will happen is he's going to log in. He's going to see, okay, look, there's that one invoice that needed approval. It says it needs the sales manager approval. So he'll go ahead and take action on it. And then once he approves it, this invoice is ready to be paid. So he's approved it. It's no longer in his workflow inbox, and it's moved on to the last step in the process, which is where we actually pay the invoice. And that's under Admin 1. So the person who pays the invoices, same thing. They would get an email, or maybe they're working inside of Dokmee already. The invoice is going to pop into their workflow inbox. They're going to pay the invoice, and when they're finished paying it, Dokmee will prompt them for some information that we need for the specific invoice. So let's approve it. It's going to ask them, how do we pay it? Okay. Let's say we did check 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to ask, when did we pay it? Well, we paid it today on the 10th. Okay. So it's going to stamp it as paid. and it's going to pop out of our view. So what we've done in, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, is taken invoices from paper, turned them digital, extracted the metadata, got them inside of Dokmee DMS, routed them around for approvals, and paid them. This is a process that can take weeks. And with Dokmee, we can automate a lot of this. So let's go find the invoice. So if I look, what it's done, these are 2018 paid invoices. The month is May, that's when we paid it. And here's the invoice. The one from, let's see, 147. It's this one. This is the one that we just did. So let me open it up, and I'll show you what the end result is. All right, so this invoice has been paid. And if we look here to the left, all of the metadata fields are filled out. So we've taken a paper invoice, we've scanned it in, and at that point, the end user did not need to do anything else. All of the relevant data off of that invoice was extracted, and it was pushed over to Dokmee DMS, where it kicked off a workflow and was automatically routed to the sales manager, who approved it, and then it goes back and it's paid. And now the invoice is paid, and we have all of the information that we would need for this particular document here. And so this is for invoices, and keep in mind that we can apply this process to any document inside of the organization, whether it be, you know, a packing packet, or, you know, maybe a set of W-9s, or any documents, real estate documents, whatever the customer is working with. We can take those manual processes now, and we can automate them. And we can automate them in a way that makes it very, very easy for the company to use, and for the employees of that company to use. Because once we have this set up, it's true automation. It works by itself. So that is what I had to show everyone today, and I thank you all for joining. At this time, we're going to be taking questions. Okay, that's a good question. The question was about magic indexing. Did I use magic indexing for this demonstration? And the answer is no. What I did is I used zonal OCR for this. So, and the reason is because the documents were similar. So when we're talking about similar documents, we can go in and we can build a template and extract the data that way. Now, what magic indexing is used for is for unstructured data. So if I have a set of similar documents, let's say all of the invoices are from the same vendor, maybe they're from my company. I know where the information is going to be. When the data is unstructured, if I have invoices from different vendors, you know, maybe the vendor name is on the left, maybe it's on the right, maybe it's in the middle. With magic indexing, we're able to do that. So with magic indexing, we can actually take those. It works in the exact same way. Automatically process invoices, put them on the scanner and push scan and scan them to a folder, or put them on, or if they're already digital, just move them over to the folder. And with magic indexing, we're going to run them through the same type of processing, and we're going to do that with a verification layer on top, because of the nature of some of these unstructured documents. Yeah, well, the question was, is this one piece of software, are they sold together? Well, it's what I was showing was two pieces. We have two applications. One is Dokmee DMS, and one is Dokmee Capture. And the way that I showed them for the auto processing was I showed them working together because they're designed to work together. However, an end user could only maybe have capture, they could have Dokmee DMS. You don't have to have both. So imagine auto processing, taking a set of invoices or any type of document really, and having them auto process just like we saw here. But instead of going to Dokmee DMS, maybe they go to SharePoint, or maybe they go to just a Windows file system. We're really agnostic as to where we send the documents after we've captured the image, and extracted the metadata. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? All right. Well, I would like to thank everyone for joining me today. And I can be contacted. You can contact me, or you can contact Scott. Let's go ahead and put our information up. Let's see. So on the screen now is our email address and also our number. So we can be contacted here at the Houston office, 832-369-3900, or you can shoot us an email. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and everyone have a great weekend. Thanks.